Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Authentic Ashley, and today is going to be the first video in my series called PCOS and Me. So this is going to be a series about my entire journey with PCOS. If you're new here and you don't know what PCOS is, it stands for Polycystic Ovarian Syndrome. This series is going to be about me diving in and showing you guys my experience, the things that I've done to manage my PCOS, tips and tricks, and, like I said, just the ups and the downs, honestly. Cue disclaimer, I am not a licensed doctor. I am not a licensed dietitian. I am not in the medical field whatsoever. All of the things that I talk about on this series and on this channel in general are my own personal experiences. These are my own opinions. This is what works for me. If you have something that works for you, by all means, keep doing it, girl. So just wanted to make that clear. This is just my PCOS. Everybody's PCOS is different. Everybody's body in general is different. So let's keep that in mind when we're watching this series. Okay? First things first, I'm gonna kind of talk to you guys about the symptoms that I had previously to getting diagnosed, what led me up to finally going to the doctor, and what I eventually ended up being diagnosed with. And then, like I said, this will be a series, so I will go through along with you guys kind of my day-to-day things that I've discovered that help. I appreciate any love and support that you guys send my way, and on this channel we keep it real, so I appreciate any constructive criticism that you might have for me or anything to do with this channel. All right, with all of that stuff being said, let's get it. Okay, so I'm gonna go through with you guys the symptoms that I personally had and what led me up to eventually going to the doctor and being diagnosed with PCOS. So essentially what this is a hormonal balance that your ovaries aren't producing either estrogen, progesterone, or testosterone in the right capacity, and it's affecting your body. PCOS can lead to ovarian cancer, infertility, ovarian cysts, etc. So it's very, very serious, and if you think that you might have PCOS, please go see your doctor or gynecologist and get that checked, okay? The first symptom that I had was I was exhausted. And I'm not talking about like, oh, you had a long day at work or you had a fight with your mom or, whatever. I'm talking about like I would go to bed, I would wake up more tired than when I fell asleep, if I could fall asleep. So this was also tied into my exhaustion, was my sleeping patterns. I would literally stay awake until 6, 7 in the morning and sleep for like a couple hours and then do the whole thing all over again if I could fall asleep eventually. So I had really bad insomnia. My sleeping patterns were completely off. All I wanted to do during the day was sleep, and all I wanted to do at night was stay awake. Even when I was super, super tired, I wouldn't be able to fall asleep, and I would end up staying awake until 8, 7 in the morning, like I said, up until the point where I felt sick, and then I could finally sleep. So not good, you know what I mean? And I went through my early 20s stage. I know what being tired from like drinking and partying and living your best life is, and like this was not that, okay? So I knew that there was like something wrong, big time, right? So my second symptom was acne. I know. So I have been, pretty blessed with good skin most of my life. Like many of us, I had hormonal acne as a teenager, and it would be like in my forehead and my chin area, but it's nothing a little Maybelline Dream Matte Mousse couldn't cover. If you know, you know. Yeah. Anyways, so I had my hormonal acne as a teenager, but most of that, went away by the time I was 18. I, went through, like I said, my early 20s college party girl phase of staying up until 4 a.m., eating Cosmos pizza, is going to sleep, you know, with a full face of makeup on, getting up, going to brunch, and doing the whole thing again. You know, I would get a couple blemishes here or there, but nothing really serious, okay? And I'm going to do an entire video on like skincare in general. So I'm going to leave out a lot of like specifics because that'll be for another video. But I just wanted to let you guys know that the second symptom that I had that was really bad was just raging adult acne, okay? And this didn't start until I was 24 and I had just moved to Seattle, right? So I was like, okay, environmental change. I'm moving from Colorado, which is dry as shit, to the rainiest part of the country. Obviously, that's gonna have some effect, right? So I was like, okay, it's been like a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. Okay, something's not right here, you know? You can kind of tell when there's something not right. Listen to your body, folks. I'm telling you. So that was my second, you know, kind of thing that I was like, okay, what else is, you know, going on? So my third symptom was hair loss. Oh, let me tell you that I was losing hair up the yin yang, you guys. So obviously, if you know me personally, you know that I have naturally curly, thick, frizzy ass hair, okay? So I obviously normally lose about 100 to 200 strands in the shower. Like, that's normal. That's normal for like a normal person with like normal hair, you know? We shed hair all the time. But this was like noticeably different, okay? This was like, I mean, like clumps and chunks in the shower. There literally came a point, and do not drag me for this because I know it sounds disgusting, but I literally had to do this so I could take pictures to show my doctor. There was a point where I gathered all of the hair that fell out in the shower and I took a photo because I had to show my doctor. And it was like this big, you guys. Like, normally it's like this big, there's like hair, whatever. It was like this big. So it was freaking a lot. And I was so scared. I was so worried. I was like, what's happening to me? Am I going to die? Do I have cancer? Like, just freaking out, okay? So I have 3 symptoms already that are like kind of hitting me like back to back to back to back. And I'm just like, what is going on? Like, I had no idea what was going on. And I was so scared and so confused. So the 4th symptom was weight gain. Now, I've always been a thicker girl, like literally my whole life. But as soon as I moved from Denver to Washington, I gained, God, I think it was close to 70 pounds. Yeah, you heard that right. 70. And obviously there were more factors involved, but hormonal imbalance has a huge effect on weight gain and weight loss, okay? Not only had I just moved from, you know, Colorado where I had been for 12 years, I moved back to Seattle where I didn't have any family. I had like 2 friends, so I didn't really have a stable support system here. I was also healing through a lot of trauma and stuff that I thought that I could run from. Spoiler alert, you can't run from your problems, so just fix them now. So in the process of healing and growing, you know, obviously stress, anxiety, depression, those are all factors that are gonna contribute to weight gain as well. And like I said before, wasn't sleeping, obviously wasn't eating right. If I'm not sleeping right, I'm snacking at 3 o'clock in the morning, that can't be good for anybody. So it was just like a plethora of things. And then finally, you know, I was just like, okay, after dealing with these symptoms for over a year and just kind of like brushing them off, like, okay, it'll get better. I'll drink more water, you know, I'll take my vitamin, like, it didn't get better. So there came to a point actually where, you know, a couple of my best friends were like, bitch, you need to go to the doctor and figure out what's going on. So I finally went in March of 2020. So right before we got locked down for quarantine, and I went to my gynecologist. She checked everything out. I didn't have any cysts on my ovaries, but she was like, you know, based off of your hormones and your blood tests, I'm going to diagnose you with PCOS. So at that moment, my whole world kind of was like, what is going on? And we were just hitting, you know, coronavirus and a global pandemic. So it was just great timing. So I, you know, got on this prescription that was going to help get out any excess water weight and all of that stuff, because a symptom of PCOS is a lot of bloating. So she gave me that prescription and was like, you know, we're probably going to shut down here in a couple weeks and we can only really see like critical clients. So I just want you to be set with this. Here is a 6-month, you know, prescription, and we will test your blood at the end of that 6 months and see where we're at, right? So my blood test concluded that I have very high testosterone compared to progesterone and estrogen. Now, what attributed to this was I, like so many women that I know, was 16 years old and I was having irregular periods, right? So me and my mom, we went to the doctor, and what did the doctor do? She put us on birth control. And I know this happens to a lot of people. You know, a lot of women go in, they have issues, and, you know, instead of maybe testing or doing a blood test, they just put us on birth control. So I was on birth control pills from the time that I was 16 until the time that I was 25, right? So I switched twice. So the first birth control that she had put me on in high school was high estrogen, right? To balance out my irregular periods. Then when I was 21, I switched to a non-estrogen birth control pill because I was getting really bad migraines, really bad headaches, and I just couldn't deal. You know, my mom was like, yep, that's about the time that I started getting them. Your grandma had them. It's genetic, but the estrogen can also make it worse. So I completely got off estrogen and was just on progesterone and a little bit of testosterone for my birth control pills. And everything was fine. My headaches went away and everything was great. Now, I turned 25. I was living in Seattle and I got into a serious relationship, right? So in January of 2019, I decided to get on the IUD, right? I was entering a serious relationship and I did not want children at the time, / I still do not want children at this moment. So I'm doing what I need to do for me and my partner and my body to take preventative action against that, okay? I will do a completely separate video on that because that experience alone, whew, child, So I got the IUD, and then obviously all of a sudden shit just hit the fan. So all of my symptoms that I had previously had, they just like multiplied. Like it got progressively like so much worse after I got the IUD. Obviously that makes sense because I got a non-hormonal IUD with a tiny bit of progesterone. So like the smallest amount that you can have. Obviously that's gonna mess with my hormones, right? So I gave it a couple months, obviously let it adjust, and you know, all throughout 2019, my symptoms were still pretty bad. So that's when I had reached that decision to finally go to the doctor. So after I had gotten my diagnosis, I then literally a week later got shut down from work, everything, and we got quarantined. So I decided that I really wanted to use that time to research this as much as possible. Obviously, this is something that can stay with somebody for a really long time. So I realized that if I want to make this something that I can live with and tolerate, you know, I have to make some life changes and I need to take it seriously because it may not ever go away. So on this series, that is what I'm going to be, you know, talking about is all of the things that I have like researched, what works for me, what didn't work for me, and all of that stuff. Like I said, this is just my experience with it. It's my PCOS. Everybody's PCOS is different, not one size fits all or anything like that. So, you know, take this advice / information as you will. I just know that I really benefited from watching a lot of different people's experiences. And so I wanted to, you know, come on here and create something to where someone else might benefit from mine. I am grateful for all of the support that I have had from my family, my partner, you know, my best friends, even some of my coworkers. Like, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that's, you know, listened to me and been there for me since I've had this diagnosis. It's not easy, and, you know, to be a woman and to hear that there's a high possibility that you might not be able to carry children and have children, that sucks, you know, like, and I'm not even gonna lie, I have never really seen myself as one to become a mother, or I have never really wanted that for myself, but I am with somebody who wants a big family, and so there's always that option in the future, right? And so to be told that that option could never be there, it hurts, right? And so I found myself going through a lot of emotions, like, you did this to yourself, you made this decision and it led to this, and now you're like, you know, infertile, and it's just like a whole mind game. And so to anybody out there that has PCOS or hormone imbalance, or is, you know, going through infertility or anything like that, like, be gentle on yourself, be nice to yourself. We are our harshest critics, and the way that we think and what we think about ourselves, even if we don't say it out loud, that, you know, can really affect us. And so I've had to definitely change some of my dialogue, some of the things that I say, or how I speak about myself to myself, just because you can end up in a really, really dark place. So that is just my, you know, little pocket of peace, you could say, is to just be gentle with yourself. It's a learning experience and it's a growing experience, and you really just have to figure out what works for you and for your body. And, you know, I don't let this run my life. I try not to. So there's also just a balance of, you know, living with a condition, like any medical condition. Those are just my little words, you know, just be gentle. Like, geez, 2020 is tough as it is, you know, like, just love yourself. That's all I have to say. Thank you guys for watching my intro video to my new series on this channel, PCOS and Me. Like I said, on this channel, we keep it real and we keep it honest. So if you guys have any questions, comments, please let me know down below. And I'm really, like, excited to just share my experience with you guys. Let me know down below if you guys have any experience with, like, hormone imbalances or anything like that. Because, you know, it's crazy how much our hormones affect literally everything, from our sleep to our diet to our, you know, our work and our attention span, like literally everything. So it's definitely important. So it's something that I'm really glad that I can talk to on this platform, and, like, maybe I'll help somebody else, you know, you never know. So I appreciate all the love and support from starting this channel. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you're excited for this series, and don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you know every single time I upload a new video. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Okay, you guys, I got a new kitten and she's so cute, but she's sleeping right now. I would wake her up to show you, but that's just rude, and we're not gonna